Hey guys, welcome to episode number 9 of Rack and Rod Chronicles. Thanks for tuning in this week. We got a great episode this week with another one coming right up behind it for next week. So we hope you guys are enjoying it, and we definitely thank you guys for checking out the show on Pride. So this week we got a couple more intros for you so you can meet some more of the team, a little bit more personal. So you're going to get to meet Rick Huggler and myself, and kind of find out what drives us in our passion for the outdoors. Bethany, if you remember an episode or two ago, she went down to Junction, Texas and shot a really nice axis buck, an axis doe, and a hog. Well, she snuck out without telling everybody, went back down to Junction, Texas, and killed a second axis buck. So you're going to get to see some of that footage. Again, you know, it's super thick there, so getting this on film is a little more difficult when you don't have a camera crew. So again, you'll see some of it, and hope you enjoy it. She also got a chance to go out with her brother and her dad out on her brother's new boat, and they did a little crappie fishing and some bass fishing down in Kansas. You're going to get to see a little bit of backyard warm-ups with the bow, getting ready for the season. So myself and Keith and Pat, we did a little backyard tuning in with our big shot targets, and gonna get a little bit of fly fishing. Took out our Galvin reels. I actually took out, I went out myself and just wanted to get on the water for a little bit. So stay tuned, guys. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Hi everyone, it's Rick Huggler coming to you live from Bradford County. I'm up here at the cabin with my wife and newborn child, and chasing longbeards up here on the state game lands. There's 19,000 acres of state game lands up here, so definitely a challenge without a doubt, especially that mountain laurel that's everywhere up here. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I am turning 50 this year, July 4th. I know it's hard to believe that I'm turning 50. I probably look 25 to most of you, but this is a big year. I started hunting with my father. He built a cabin in 1974 with a couple of my uncles, and since 4 years old he's been bringing me up the cabin. Two main things that he did was rifle season, 2 weeks of rifle season and 2 weeks of trout season. He would spend it up the cabin. I have 4 older sisters, so as you can imagine, any chance I could get away from them or get out of the house and head up to the cabin with Dad, you better believe I was in that truck and ready to go. Now my father mainly only did rifle season and trout fishing on the creeks. That was his 2 main things. So in high school, I went to the Sullivan County Bow Fest with a good friend of mine, Jimmy Brown, and that year, I'm not sure if I was 16 or 17, but that year I bought my first bow with him up the Bow Fest, and I've only missed one Bow Fest since then, and that was when I was deployed overseas. So I always look forward to the Bow Fest every year with my friends, and practicing up there, getting ready for archery season. Since I got that bow, that is definitely one of my big passions, is hunting whitetail with the bow, trying to get them in close, trying to get them on film. Now, with filming, that's even a bigger passion. If I had a choice to go to Iowa or Illinois to kill a 150 class deer by myself, or go with my good friends and film them kill a 150 class deer, I definitely would choose the later. There's just something about, you know, being with your friends, being able to celebrate together rather than being there by yourself. So that kind of tells you a little bit about myself. I love to kill whitetail and kill turkeys, but if I can catch someone else on film or catch myself on film, that's definitely my number one. When it comes to fishing, I've kind of upgraded from trout season to bass fishing. 2 good friends of mine, Matt Showers and Todd Harner. Matt Showers introduced me to bass fishing on his bass boat, the lakes and ponds. Started off on this lake called Idlewild Lake, and caught some real nice largemouth. Then my good friend Todd Harner took me out on the Susquehanna River and introduced me to smallies. And ever since I was introduced to smallmouths, that definitely takes the cake. Fishing Susquehanna River with Todd, because he grew up on that river. So if anyone knows Susquehanna River and smallies, it's Todd Harner. He also, since I started this bass fishing a couple of years ago, I ended up going out and buying my own bass boat, and started going up to Canada with Todd and Cindy. Now that's where you want to go for bass fishing. I know Canada is known for, a ton of other fish, but smallies in Canada, 16 inchers, unbelievable. I mean, my wife looks forward to going up there every year for at least a week on the boat. So that kind of tells you a little bit about how amazing, if you get the opportunity to go to Canada with someone and catch smallies, that is the place to go. I grew up in a small town of Newton Ransom, same as my wife, and grew up hunting with my friends down. We have like plenty of private land, but we also lease a plot of land, like a little over 400 acres, that I've been able to take a couple nice deer. Nothing crazy, but to get one with the bow is pretty impressive in Pennsylvania. Thankfully, Pennsylvania is starting to get some nicer deer, bigger deer. Some of my friends have gotten some beauties in Pennsylvania, so you don't even need to travel to Iowa and Illinois. But I've been able to get them on film. Started filming probably back in 2005, 2006 when I got home from my first deployment, and just love filming ever since. Love being behind the camera, love being able to take that footage back to the garage or somewhere and just watch it to see what we caught on film. I don't go anywhere without my camera. So looking forward to being a part of this Rack and Rod Chronicles. You'll have to watch for us on Pride Outdoor Network. We're going to be trying to put out, content once a week. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you do, let us know your comments, without a doubt. So as I said, I grew up in the northeastern area part of Pennsylvania, where when I was younger, there was plenty of turkeys, but not a whole abundance of larger deer. And now we're finally starting to see larger deer. With having to have 3 points on one side has helped a ton. So now you know a little bit about myself. Watch for us on Pride Outdoor Network. Look forward to hunting this year and seeing what we can get on film for you guys. So stay with us. Again, Rick Huggler, Rack and Rod Chronicles.
Hey everybody, this is Greg Gondella. I am the producer, founder, and one of the hosts of Rack and Rod Chronicles TV. I am 39 years old. I live in northeastern Pennsylvania. I was born and raised in northeastern Pennsylvania and grew up hunting and fishing in northeastern Pennsylvania. As you saw with the rest of our team, we have all done a background intro, if you will, so that you as the viewers can get a little bit more insight on each of us, find out what we're all about. We have a great team of people that, even though we don't all live near each other, or in the same state for that matter, that we are like a family. So it was my turn, and here I am. So grew up again here in northeastern Pennsylvania. I started fishing when I was about 6 years old. My Uncle Butch started me, and ever since then I've been hooked, no pun intended. Once I was of legal age to get my hunting license, I started small game hunting and deer hunting, and for probably the first, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years, I never shot a deer. And it was frustrating to say the least. But I remember when I was younger, 7, 8, 9 years old, my uncle always had outdoor life sitting around the house, and when my dad and mom were working, I was there at my aunt and uncle's because that's who babysat me when I was a kid. So if it was in the summer especially, I was there basically every day. And he would always have these Outdoor Life magazines, and I'd be flipping through and looking at equipment and looking at the pictures of deer and bear and all these things. And I remember I was probably freshman or so in high school, maybe a little bit older, and I said to my mother that, I'm going to work in the outdoor industry or as a game warden or something. And luckily for me, I had started slowly working in the outdoor industry even younger than that, just as a side job, so I had money. And other than that, I've been in this industry ever since. So technically, I'm well into the 20s of being in the outdoor industry. I've worked for manufacturers, I've worked for distributors, I've worked for rep groups, and I am lucky enough to now own my own rep group. I have some great people that work for me and some great factories that we work with on the sales side of the world. But this whole idea of Rack and Rod Chronicles started last November. November, December-ish. And Amber happened to be working with me at ATA in January, and I brought it up to her, and at that point it still wasn't even going to be a TV show, but here we are. So to go back, so after I started hunting and I finally shot my first deer, I was just hooked. It didn't matter if I was outside hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, taking pictures. I just wanted to do it. So you'll see in some of the episodes I talk about fly fishing competitively. I fished in a league called Trout Legends, and basically it was a precursor to get to a qualifier to try to compete on Team USA, and met some great guys that were in that league and fished up and down the East Coast, and it was super fun. And I got away from that, owned a bass boat for a while and fished some tournaments. I was never a big bass fisherman because when my uncle started me, he started me on a fly rod. So it's kind of where I cut my teeth. And I learned how to use a spinning reel and whatnot. And now I'll fish for, I don't care what we're fishing for. If we're going fishing, I'm going fishing. But it's just the passion and the drive that I have to be outside and in this industry is, outside of my wife and my kids and my dogs, there's really nothing that drives me more than the outdoor industry. And I'm lucky enough that my wife Maria, she now hunts, she fishes, she loves to go up to the property and scout and do shed hunting, and the kids are all hunters and fishermen, so it's makes my life a lot easier. Some people don't have it that way, but like I said, I couldn't ask for a better support system at home. Sometimes it does drive her nuts when I'm up editing episodes until 11 or 12 o'clock at night, but she gets over it. And it's just funny that the whole reason we started the show was to kind of go back to what the shows used to be. So I remember when I was a kid watching, the only outdoor TV you can find was on ESPN on Saturday mornings, and Buckmasters was being on, and Jimmy Houston and Bill Dance and Outdoor Life, and every episode there wasn't always a deer that got shot. There wasn't always 100 fish that get caught. And we kind of wanted, when we all discussed this as a group, we, kind of said, where do we want this to fall? So that's why you'll see and have seen episodes where we don't kill something, we don't catch something, and we want to show you that. We're everyday people, we all have full-time jobs, and we know you guys are too. I have very, very good friends of mine that have shows on the other networks, and I'm good with that. I support them 100%, and I hope they support us. In fact, one show, and I'm not going to throw names of shows out there, but a good friend of mine who I used to work with is the host of a show, and I love watching the show. I love everything they're about, and I don't know if he even knows that we have a show, but I hope that he would support us, because him and the other host are great guys on their show, and I call them both very close friends, and that's how this industry should be. Is everybody thinks this industry is huge, and it's actually a very small community. Everybody knows everybody, and that's why you can't. Some guys think that bad talking or down talking somebody else is going to help them in some way, shape, or form, and it's not how the industry should be, and that's what we're trying to portray. We're not professional hunters, we're not professional fishermen, we're not getting paid to do this. It's just what we love to do, so why not share it with folks like you that are just like us. So we hope that you guys enjoy it, but to get down to the nitty-gritty of what really gets me in the outdoor industry, what makes me love it so much, fishing wise, especially when I'm fly fishing, I could be in the most remote area, or I can be right in the middle of a city fishing a river, and if I catch fish, I catch fish. If not, I'm out there enjoying myself. And just like anything else, in the world, there's certain things that are going to frustrate you. You have a nice fish on, it breaks off. But trout fishing would be my number one, as far as on the fishing side. Second would probably be salmon, steelhead, and then bass. Excuse me. And that may change as we're progressing with the show, where I'm going to be doing a little more bass fishing than normal. So I'm looking forward to that. But as far as hunting, deer hunting will always be a passion, but I'm not held up on the racks. Sure, if I shoot a big buck, I'm all about it, but my buck this year, I missed in in archery season, and I shot a 5-point older buck off our property during rifle season. And you know what? He's still hanging on my wall. I hunt, my wife, my kids, we hunt to fill the freezer. I think we bought one actual non-venison piece of meat. Not chicken, but meat, beef. I think we bought one package over the last year. My wife makes just about anything you can think of with venison. So, deer will always be my passion, but there was actually a point in time, I was probably in my mid-20s, where I not gave up, but I didn't even deer hunt for 2 years. I coyote hunted and waterfowl hunted religiously for 2 straight years. And I love waterfowl hunting. I love to coyote hunt. But, I still went back to deer hunting. And now, obviously having a partner like Pointer, I'm going to get more back into waterfowling again this year, and with Keith, who's my brother-in-law, he was one of the first people I called when I decided this is what we were going to do, and started forming the team. It works perfect for us because we're family, and we're very close. They don't live very far from where I live. But you just couldn't go. I couldn't not ask him. So brought him on, and he is a big upland hunter, as you saw in a couple previous episodes. So I love to upland bird hunt. I've just never had anybody to go with. I've never had a upland bird dog, and he and my sister Renee have Cooper, and he will put some birds up. So looking forward to that. But you know, again, if it's hunting, fishing, I don't care if it's ice fishing, saltwater fishing, any type of hunting, I'm for it. Same thing when it comes to camping, hiking, just being outside. Do a lot of kayaking. We take the kids on different hikes and different nature places. You know, that's just, I always grew up being outside, whether we were playing in the woods or playing in the street. I was always outside. And if anything anybody will ever tell you about me is I hate to sit still. So doing this right now is actually kind of getting my wheels to turn a little bit, because I'm always wanting to go and do something. So I'm going to cut myself off there, and we really appreciate all of you guys that watch the show. We appreciate everybody that follows us on Facebook. I appreciate the entire team, my family, for support, and all of our partners. So thank you guys for listening to me babble about myself for a little bit, and we hope you enjoy the rest of this episode, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey guys, I am on my way to Texas. I actually got asked to go back axis hunting, and so I didn't want to pass that opportunity up. I had so much fun on the last hunt that it was an easy yes for me. Hopefully this time we have a little better luck recording. It was nice that we had the camera recording on us while I shot that buck, but the recorder didn't get hit play. So hopefully this time we'll have a better luck and can get you guys some good footage. But really looking forward to going out and hunting some free range axis again. The one I got, I was really lucky because you don't typically see that big of axis free range. But this time we're actually gonna shoot whatever we see. So, and they're a lot different than whitetail. In Texas, you just have to have a Texas license. You don't have to have a tag. They're kind of like hogs. You can shoot as many as you want, bucks, does, it doesn't matter, as long as you have a license. And you can also thermal hunt. And so this trip, we're actually going to try and do a little thermal hunting, and hopefully we'll have some luck with that. But so axis are quite a bit different than whitetail, which is what I'm used to hunting. They breed all year round, and so they don't typically have a rut. A lot of them do rut in like June and July, so middle of the summer. But yeah, they rut all year round, and the bucks actually drop their horns on their birthday every year. And so shed hunting, you can go out and find them any time of year. But they're a lot different. It gets really hot here, so like it'll be probably 100 degrees, and so it makes it hard to get good pictures afterwards or any extra footage, just because as soon as you drop one, you want to get on it so the meat doesn't spoil. But hopefully we'll be able to get some pictures if we get some down.
Could be down.
Might have hit him in the shoulder.
Huh?
I might have hit him too far forward.
He was snowplowing.
Yeah, he wasn't going anywhere.
So not only does Bethany love to hunt, but she also likes to fish. And when you have a family of brothers and parents that love the outdoors just as much as you do, it makes it real simple. So Bethany got out with her brother and her dad and went out to one of the lakes local to them in Kansas and did a little crappie fishing, and ended up with a couple bass and a handful of crappie. But she was using the new Ardent rod and reel that we got from Ardent Outdoors, which is obviously one of our partners. So check out some action here off the boat, and stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a few.
On some jig heads. We got some doubles on.
Pair of pliers?
Somebody's got to bring appetizers to the fish fry.
You're going to keep him?
Yeah, keep him. Another one? There you go. There's one.
There you go.
Bass.
Oh,
So we are in July, guys, and obviously, you know, the seasons keep getting closer and closer. So with a lot of the 3D shoots being shut down this year, with everything going on, it took away from some of our, you know, real life practice situations. But myself and Keith here in PA, we decided we were going to get out and just shoot the big shot targets in the backyard, just get some reps in. And Pat out in Michigan did the same thing. So, you know, he's preparing for an elk hunt in September. Keith and I are preparing for a whitetail hunt at B&D Outfitters in Illinois. So anytime we can get reps in is great, and you will get to see a mishap. Keith unfortunately thought my cucumbers needed to be shot, almost. So check it out, guys, and stay tuned next week for episode 10. Thank you again for tuning in. We look forward to it every week, bringing you guys some action. So we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy.
I already killed one arrow today.
It did. Yours went over the top of mine right here. Mine went right there.
Yeah, the last one was going down the bottom.
So Keith and I were out here practicing on the big shot bag, and we just got our new Easton arrows fletched up, ready to go, and unfortunately Keith had a little mishap. My garden bed is not supposed to have a 9mm sized hole in the side of it, and if you check it out, he just missed my cucumber plants.